Ladies and gentlemen, we have just gotten some huge Grow Garden news that none of us expected. Today, the developers of the game, including those that are not Jandel, have actually came out and asked us a poll. Adrian, one of the developers who have been working pretty hard on the game, came out with this poll asking, would you guys prefer 5 servers still, what we got now, or we make it 4 size? The difference with it being a size 4 server size is that they would make it so you can expand your plot more. Oh, on top of that, this goes way deeper than this, by the way, but it also says it's also a bit closer to the gear shop for everyone on average, so maybe a bonus there as well. If you don't know, currently in the game, 5 players can play at a time, and actually the last slot over there can actually just never be fulfilled. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but there's always 1 slot empty inside of the game, and that is because there is 6 slots, and currently inside of the game you can only expand a few times on the side and 2 times in the back. They've not actually introduced any new upgrades in a pretty long time, and with this new updates, a lot of things are going to get changed, especially if they make it a server size 4, because you could probably expect an all new map. Unlike many other games out there, Grow a Garden has literally not changed the look in its map ever since the day it was released. It has only added a bunch of stuff onto it. And really, the only thing they actually added was the pet egg shop when pets got added, pet mutations when pet mutations got added, and then the garden ascensions when they added rebirths. But ever since then, nothing new has been getting added to the map. And the only thing is that the events that happen in the center of the map every single time. But with them making this a player 4 server, you can expect 2 of these slots getting moved out, meaning the map can become a lot more compact and you can also have so much more space. And there is so many possibilities of stuff we could see. If you haven't noticed across all my videos, in this game, I literally have over 1 QI shekels, bro. This number right here is so high. This update, though, could possibly fix it very much, and I think that is actually a target goal, because in the newest update in Grow Garden, they actually added more extra inventory slots, which are pretty expensive, and this does go up, but a lot of people don't actually have too big of an incentive to buy that because the areas are way too small. Instead, what the developers can do is expand outwards, whether that is to the left, to the right, upwards, back, down, whatever, bro. But that is an actual worthy purchase. Grow Garden has always struggled with shekels. I mean, it has been a problem ever since the first few updates in the game. People have just way too much money to spend. But allowing us to expand your garden, I need you guys to understand that that is literally going to mean that, one, we will probably be able to get even more pet equip slots, egg equip slots, all kinds of different things, because there is more space in our garden, meaning we can plant more stuff and we could possibly use more pets to get mutations around. The developers might be deleting this map forever, and this might be one of the last times, if not actually the last time, that we see it. And that is assuming that, we're not going to have a part 2 to this event, but I think we might have a part 2 to the Halloween event. So likely in the next 2 updates, we could see an all brand new map that allows us to do a lot more things, and I'm just so excited to see that. Plants in the game also are gonna be able to become a lot bigger. As you know, we have the great pumpkin seed, which this thing can come to some ridiculous sizes. And well, when one of those grows, I mean, you literally cannot access half your garden just because of how big it actually is. There's more benefits than just that, especially for you mobile players. You will probably lag a lot less when you have 4 people in your game rather than 5, because there isn't so much people to place down and do a bunch of things with a bunch of different pets. I feel like that's been always the number one thing Grow Garden has struggled with, especially in the last few updates with all these mutations. There is just so much going on in the game. Like, look at these plots, bro. They are literally touching each other. When we have bigger plots, though, that means you have more space to place your gigantic plants around your place, and it's not going to fill up as much space as fast. And right now, actually, being in this public server is a little bit laggy. Like, that guy just loaded in, so my entire server is starting to lag. On top of that, another big issue is when I look around, like, I can for some reason steal this guy's Romanesco all the way from this far. You know what, bro? I'm taking your Romanesco. It is a disgrace to this society, bro. It is literally causing people to press E on accident. Oh my god, now it's this giant pine cone or whatever thing, bro. But you get the point. A lot of things are getting compact because there's just so many things to do in the game now. And bro, if you take a look at a server like mine, all of these people except this nutty person here have literally quadrillions or quintillions of shekels, meaning they are never going to run out. There is nothing in the game that you cannot buy 1,000 times over and still have enough shekels. And this isn't just a problem when it comes to, you know, the massive plans that have been bugged. It's also because of the admin abuses that we all love. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they should change the admin abuses at all because they give a bunch of rewards and people love to see that. I mean, like in the last admin abuse, bro, there was so many prismatic seeds. Like, what was it? The Ember Lilies? Yeah, I still have 6 of them, or I got all 6 in this admin abuse. Then you got the beanstalks. Yeah, I have 42 of these. This is a prismatic seed that used to be rare. This guy's have your biggest fan. Thank you so much. But the point I'm making across is that these seeds have been given out infinitely to us for a long period of time. And oh my god, talking about the beanstalk, it's literally a daily deal. What the heck? And look, now they've put the potato seeds in here. But the point I'm trying to make, like I said, is that there is so many seeds and so little room. Like, if I were to place all these down, it becomes a struggle to get through my garden and all that stuff. But imagine we had more space, we were able to get rid of all of these quintillions of shekels that we have, and we get to have more fun. But there's some very important things that I should mention that I think a lot of people have been trying to get across for a while. In the light of one of the most recent updates, the developers of Grow Garden thought it was a great idea to place a cap on certain fruits, and that cap was, I believe, set to be 1 trillion. Just for reference, this is 1/10 of the currency that I currently have in the game. I literally cannot even put enough of the letters in the calculator, and when something is capped at 1 trillion, let's go and get it, that's 1 million or 100 million, that's 100 billion, and that right there is 1 trillion. It would take you 9,930 of that fruit in order to get to my current currency. Actually, it would take you 993,000 because I have 993 QA, and that number that I just did was only 1/10 of that. Basically, the point I'm trying to make across here is that no matter what, placing a cap on the stuff isn't going to fix anything because nobody, no real player that legitimately is grinding is going to ever be able to catch up. Instead, the people who have this pet called the raccoon, as you probably know, I don't even have it, bro. I've literally actually never had this pet. But people who have the raccoon are able to get 8 of these every so few minutes, and they can constantly just sell it. And that is the pet that has been a problem for the longest time. I know we've had our raccoon buffs and nerfs, but I really think it is time to put this pet much further into the ground. Instead of limiting all the players in the world, including those that don't even have the raccoon, and punishing them for it, instead, what we should be doing is nerfing the raccoons. This is actually a thought that a lot of players have been having, including a bunch of content creators for this game. And I'm gonna be honest, I gotta agree, bro. The raccoons are just way too good. And instead, what they can do is allow new players, the ones that actually don't have any types of raccoons and stuff, because keep in mind, players are only leaving the game nowadays. The game's player count has been falling for a while. At the time I'm recording, Grow Garden has 300,000 players when it used to get over 2 million like around a month ago. But what they can do is, with new events, bring some stuff that is similar to the raccoon. Now, it doesn't have to be entirely as good, but it could be similar, maybe a reiteration of the old events we've had in the game. People still love those. What if the events in the center were very similar to how we currently have mutations and like weather events in the game, and they switch every so often, bringing back one of the old events every few so hours? That is just such a cool little concept, and it allows people to access the old stuff even if it's not as good. Somebody actually had a suggestion for this. This guy right here, Supreme Evil Ultra. He said, how will this benefit the game? And he said new players will get to experience the old events, which is fair. People who wanted the old plants/pets will have a chance to get them again. And nostalgia. Not only we can enjoy the OG events again, I believe that old players who quit would come back to play again. I could not agree with this any further, because right now it feels like we just get more and more events that all end up doing the same thing, right? Like, I can fill up this cauldron, I can become first on the leaderboard and get some of the new plants, but so what? Like, that doesn't really accomplish anything. And when you've done it so many times, every single update being a new event in the center and really nothing going on around the sides, it gets really boring. One of the nicer things they added, I believe, was this daily deals. It's cool, you know, it's a new type of thing that comes back, and it's every single day, so you have a reason to come and check the shop out, even if you don't want to check this other shop that updates every 5 minutes, because this one can actually have some pretty good stuff up here for. And something a lot of people still loved was the cooking pots, bro. That was such a cool thing. Like, cooking is still a pretty important aspect of the game, right? You still have the food stuff here, but there should just be more use into this system. I thought it was so cool being able to throw in a bunch of random stuff. Oh my goodness. But as I was saying, I thought it was very cool that, you know, you could throw in a bunch of random stuff, make some pretty cool things, and then feed it to characters like Sam for their birthday. Like, that was a pretty nice feature. Although we haven't really received anything apart from that, and it did actually just kind of, you know, take away Sam's little upgrades, because you can't really like feed him for any purpose no more. Like, yes, he has that friendship level, but there's nothing from his friendship. But I'd love to see more of stuff like that, bringing back the old stuff in the game, because the developers could continue adding in mutations into the game, but after a certain point, when you have like 50 mutations on certain stuff, it just becomes boring. It doesn't become as interesting as it used to be. Like, this Romanesco, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mutations. If I told you I had 9 mutations on a plant like 3 months ago, you would be amazed, and you would probably want it for, I don't know how many raccoons you'd give me, but I'd get at least one. But that is no longer of interest, because no matter how many mutations it gets, it is never going to be as close to what I'm worth already, which is 900 quintillion or quadrillion. This thing is worth 800 million shekels. That was so much back then, bro. Literally a few months ago, that was so much. Now all of that has unfortunately been turned into nothing. So seeing this garden expansion coming down to 4 plots, I think I'm just so excited to see what it can do, because we're gonna have so many more things you can upgrade. Maybe you can even have systems to automate your garden. That'd be so cool. If you guys have ever played a game called Islands, you would know what I mean. You're basically on an island. You can use your cosmetics to just craft a bunch of things that are going to actually help you with the game, and I think it's gonna be just so nice to see stuff like that coming back into the game, or being more implemented, I should say. And hopefully the developers go towards that direction, because I genuinely think the game is going to benefit so much from that, especially with all these big plans we have now. This was one of the fairest points I've actually seen by Mr. Atlas right here, and he went straight after Jandel and the dev team, and he said, don't do Grow Garden like you did Wacky Wizards, one of their old games. And he said, once stuff starts getting complicated, you pretty much just ghosted the entire community. And I feel like this is what's happening right now. There were a lot of issues that the community has said and made very aware of, and it seems like they're never gonna get fixed. If you could please forget the other game right now and focus on Grow Garden and reestablish its player base and fun environment to keep the game up and going. This is all being referenced to Jandel and his work on Plants vs. Brainrots, which is another video I've been uploading videos on, or another game I've been uploading videos on, and he's been very much focused on that rather than Grow Garden. I mean, heck, they even got a really cool cards feature in their most recent update. Why can't we get that in Grow Garden, bro? But I think that person makes a very fair point. A lot of things, I think, if they are fixed here, a lot of quality of life suggestions are being implemented, then the game has a very good opportunity to flourish again. People really like this Halloween update. I think this is one of the better side of events. But then again, it's just an event. And after this update, I can't imagine that'll continue. But if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and watch this video on the screen right here. I went ahead and handpicked it for you. I really think you're going to enjoy it. So click it fast. This video is about to end. Hurry, click it. Until then, bye.